Python 3.14 has a powerful new string manipulation feature called template strings. It's a step up from the existing format string or fstring feature. It lets you create fstring-like constructions and then manipulate them to do far more complex things than just format variables in place. So let's take a look at how this works. Now for this demo, I'm using Python 3.14's pre-beta 1 release code. So if you're going to try something like this out, you're either going to need to build Python from source or get the beta 1 release once that's out. To use templates, there is a new module in the string library called template_lib, and it provides us with a template type which functions very differently from a string. But we don't need that type to make new template strings. We only need it to access the type definition, which we can do later. To actually make a template string, we can just use the built-in template string formatting, which is a string prefixed with a T. In other words, it looks a lot like a formatted string since it also refers to things in the current namespace in curly brackets, such as the variable name here. However, if we try to print this template, we don't get a string. Instead, we get the template's object representation, because template objects aren't meant to be printed directly. They're meant to be manipulated and transformed into a string by some other code. Template objects contain lots of details about what's in them. If we iterate through the template object, we get each element from it in turn. So the first element for this template is going to be the string hello. And then comes what's called an interpolation object. This is what we get when some variable is inserted or interpolated at some point in the template. We can also iterate through the interpolations alone, and when I'm doing that here, I'm going to show how each interpolation has 4 properties. First is the value, in this case it's the string u, the expression that generated it, in this case it's the variable named name, the kind of conversion applied to it, if any, such as if this is an object representation or a string, and any fstring style format specifications, like how many decimal places or if there's leading spaces to be inserted. And with a regular fstring, we don't get access to this kind of metadata, at least not easily, and we certainly don't get the flexibility that a template will give us for working with it. So let's look at an example of how to actually use all of this. Now in this example, I've created a function named clean, which takes in a template and processes the contents according to certain rules. It allows me to provide a template string with HTML in it and escape the HTML in any variables so that HTML tags in those supplied variables don't get rendered. Only the HTML in the template itself will show up. Now this sort of thing would be easy enough with an fstring, but template strings give us tools that allow us to do even more sophisticated work. If you look here, you'll see that one of the places where the variable is used in our template is inside a URL for a link. So we want to have different rules for sanitizing a variable in that position when it's used as part of an HTML tag's properties than when it's used outside a tag as part of the body text. Now here's how we do this. We take in our template and we iterate through each element, and if the element is just text, then we'll use some basic heuristics to determine if we're inside an HTML tag or not, and we keep that information and add the string to the output. But if the element is an interpolation, we reformat that using different rules based on whether or not we're inside a tag. If we are inside a tag, we use urlib parse quote so that any quotes in our variable don't break the tag. If not, we just use HTML escape. So when we run this, you can see how our text, which contains both brackets and a quote, is escaped differently based on whether it's a tag attribute or part of the body of the text. Now, you could also do this with structures like regular expressions and whatnot, but template strings give us a whole new built-in vocabulary for doing this kind of processing, for making it easier to write elegant ways to generate complex text from equally complex variables. So that's it for this episode. If you liked it, leave a comment below, and don't forget to follow Dev with Serdar and InfoWorld on Facebook, YouTube, and Infoworld.com.